The air crackled with the energy of chaos. Shouts mixed with the clang of metal against metal. Dust filled the air, a grim haze around the battlefield. At the heart of it all stood Dohyuk, a warrior forged in fire.
His enemies, Gukhan's men, swarmed him like angry wasps. They attacked with desperation, their faces twisted in fear and fury. But Dohyuk was a whirlwind. Each move was precise, each strike deadly. He was a force of nature, unstoppable and terrifying. Around him, men fell. Each swing of his weapon was a testament to his power, a symphony of destruction. This was Dohyuk unleashed, and it was a sight to behold.
Gukhan's men were no ordinary thugs. They were a formidable force, each one a master of combat in their own right. They were seasoned fighters, veterans of countless battles, each scar a testament to their survival. But against Dohyuk, they were like children facing a giant. His presence alone was enough to make them hesitate. He moved with a speed they couldn't comprehend, a blur of motion that left them disoriented and afraid. His agility was unmatched, his strikes precise and devastating.
One by one they fell, unable to withstand his relentless assault. Broken bones, shattered weapons, their cries of pain echoing in the air. The battlefield was a symphony of destruction. Dohyuk showed no mercy, only the cold efficiency of a warrior in his element. His face was a mask of determination. He was a predator, and they were his prey. His every move calculated, his every strike lethal. Each fallen enemy seemed to fuel Dohyuk's resolve, his strength growing with every victory. He fought not just with strength, but with a cold fury that chilled the hearts of those who remained. His eyes burned with an unquenchable fire. His movements were a dance of death, a spectacle of violence that left no doubt of his dominance. Every motion was a testament to his unparalleled skill and unyielding will.
It wasn't just Dohyuk's raw power that terrified Gukhan's men. It was his mind, a mind that worked like a well-oiled machine, always calculating, always planning. He seemed to anticipate their every move, countering their attacks before they even began. His foresight was uncanny, almost as if he could see into the future. He was always a step ahead, herding them like sheep, leading them to their doom. His strategies were flawless, his execution impeccable.
Fear spread through their ranks like wildfire. The sight of their comrades falling one by one shattered their morale. They had never witnessed such power, such calculated brutality. Each strike was a lesson in precision and strength. This wasn't just a fight. It was a massacre orchestrated by a single, terrifying individual. Dohyuk stood alone, a titan among the fallen. Dohyuk's eyes, cold and calculating, scanned the battlefield. He missed nothing. Every detail was noted, every weakness exploited. He wasn't just fighting, he was analyzing, strategizing. His mind was a battlefield of its own, constantly adapting and evolving. Every move had a purpose, every blow a consequence. His combat was a dance of death, each step meticulously planned. This was the mind of a leader, a tactician who used chaos as his weapon. In the midst of the turmoil, he found clarity and control.
Jae-hoon and Hee-yun watched the battle unfold with a mixture of awe and terror. The scene before them was unlike anything they had ever witnessed.
They had heard whispers of Dohyuk's strength, rumors of his exploits. Stories of his legendary battles had circulated for years, painting him as an almost mythical figure. But nothing could have prepared them for the reality of seeing him in action. The sheer intensity of his presence was overwhelming.
He was a force of nature, a whirlwind of destruction. Every move he made was calculated, yet filled with raw power. His movements were so fast they were almost invisible, a blur of motion that left his opponents reeling. His strikes so powerful they seemed effortless, each blow landing with devastating precision.
Jae-hoon, a seasoned fighter himself, felt a pang of envy mixed with respect. He had trained for years, but this was a level of mastery he had never seen. This was what true strength looked like. It was both inspiring and humbling.
Hee-yun, her breath caught in her throat, couldn't tear her eyes away. The sight of Dohyuk in battle was mesmerizing. This was the man she had pledged her loyalty to, the one they called Unbreakable. She had always believed in his strength, but seeing it firsthand was something else entirely. And as she watched him fight, she knew that he was worthy of that title. His determination and skill were unmatched, and she felt a renewed sense of pride in following him.
As the last of Gukhan's men fell, silence descended upon the battlefield. Do-hyuk stood amidst the carnage, his chest heaving, his weapon dripping with blood. His gaze swept over the awed faces of those who remained, a challenge in his eyes.
I offered you a choice. Join me, and together we will build a new world. A world free from fear and oppression.
He paused, letting his words sink in.
Or continue to serve a man who sees you as nothing more than pawns and share their fate.
The choice was clear. Loyalty or death. And in that moment, under the weight of Do-hyuk's gaze, no one dared to choose the latter. News of the massacre reached young Gukhan, the kingpin himself. Rage consumed him, but beneath that rage, a flicker of fear. He had underestimated Do-hyuk, dismissed him as just another challenger.
He had been wrong, deadly wrong. Do-hyuk was a force to be reckoned with, a storm that threatened to engulf his entire empire.
And Gukhan knew, with chilling certainty, that their paths would cross again. The battle was over, but the war was just beginning. A war that would pit the kingpin against the Unbreakable, a clash of titans that would determine the fate of them all.